All right, everybody, welcome to Telling the Tropes. I'm Erin.
I'm Clayton.
And we're your hosts.
Yeah.
Hey, Clayton.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Good. We just had dinner.
We just had dinner, but we didn't talk about anything that we're going to talk about now.
No, but we're sleepy.
No, we're a little sleepy.
So pardon our sleepiness.
Yeah, you finished my fries, so you have some extra in there.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we have like a few topics we're going to hit on today. We're going to talk about a truly devastating fucking book that you had me read, which was rude.
Okay.
And I need to warm up to it because I think if I start talking about it now, I will start crying, and I'll probably start crying later.
Good. We need the clicks.
We do. That'll be our vertical video from this episode.
We'll have our intern. Yeah, we'll have our intern clip that.
Yeah. But before that, you went to the movies.
Yeah.
We both did.
We both went to the movie. So before the show, we were talking about adaptations, books adapted into films. And originally we were talking about Wuthering Heights.
Which I saw, but you haven't.
And I was supposed to see.
Yeah.
But then I never got around to it. And so, but I did see another book adaptation, lesser known, a movie called Pillion, which was adapted from a book called Box Hill.
Okay.
But first off, because you have strong feelings about Wuthering Heights.
Yes.
So I want to get these feelings from you.
I saw it twice.
Okay.
So I saw it in IMAX with my husband on the day before Valentine's Day, on Galentine's Day. So I did commit a sin in that I was like with a man on Galentine's Day, but that's fine. Loved it. I don't normally like IMAX. It can be too big, but not big enough. Loved it.
This should have been covering the whole ceiling as well.
Yeah. I could have watched this in a planetarium.
Or the Sphere.
Or the Sphere. Oh, yeah. Wuthering Heights needs to come to the Sphere. And then I was talking to my good friend Sarah McLean, who's also a very talented author, and she was like, I loved it. I'll see it again. And then we saw it again at Nighthawk during the day, and it was another great experience.
How many days after Galentine's Day?
Maybe a week later.
Okay, so it was a belated Galentine's Day.
It was a belated Galentine's.
So you're fine.
No, I got in there under the wire.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I loved it, and I feel like the people who hate it are such like sexless scolds.
Okay.
That it makes me crazy because one, this is a 250-year-old book written by a very talented woman who was sick in the head, clearly.
Okay.
And who would have been into this version of the thing, I think. It's hard for us to say what exactly somebody in the past would or wouldn't like, but I just feel like Emily would have been down with some freak shit. And this is like the 1/1,000,000th adaptation of this book.
Yeah.
So that it's not like absolutely pin perfect to the text, I find to be such a boring argument because, there's those versions out there, and go watch those versions.
Because it's not like something like Jurassic Park, which it had one big adaptation. If they would have made that super horny, I guess there's horny elements to it.
I mean, they made it a little horny.
They made it a little horny, but probably not as horny as the Wuthering Heights adaptation. So, there wasn't wall licking in that.
Or not as much squelching. Because I'll say Emerald Fennell loves a squelch sound effect.
The sound?
Yeah. It squelches nonstop.
So, I don't know if I'm familiar with that sound. A squelch?
Like a water...
A squish? Because a squelch is when you stop something, you're squelching something.
Oh, okay. I don't know what the sound is, but she puts her hand in her finger in jelly. What's that noise?
I would say that's a squish, right?
A squish.
It's squishy noise.
This is a squish. No.
Yeah, but squish is a noise.
Okay.
Are we able to invoke the producer here for a second, Pat? Pat, what would you say that noise would be? If you're going to give a word to the noise of someone putting their finger in jelly?
Yeah.
I think that's a scooch.
Scooch?
Yeah,
it's definitely not a scooch.
Okay.
Scooch. Not a scooch. A scooch is a measurement of a distance. A squooch
Squooch.
A squooch.
Yeah.
Anyway, that
now,
noise.
here's
We
what
know what we're
need.
talking about.
We need the script.
Yes.
We need to online find the script because you got to write the sound effects in the scripts. So we'll know exactly what it is. So we're either one of us is right or we're all wrong.
Right.
Because I don't know if there's any other options than what we said. But anyway, there's not that in Jurassic Park. So I could see if people were upset that the only adaptation of Jurassic Park they got was this weird, crazy one.
Right.
But like you said, why not do something interesting with something that's been around for so long?
And have like a point of view. Like, I'm just so tired of everything having to be sanitized for like the least common denominator. And like Emerald Fennell was like, I'm going to make something that a weird, horny 14-year-old reading Wuthering Heights would relate to. And she nailed it. And also, I think the way to judge art is based on like the creator. Did the creator pull off the thing that they attempted? And I think she did. And it's really fun and it's campy and it's over the top and so watchable. And I have not stopped listening to the soundtrack. And I was like a Charlie XCX curious, and now I'm like a super fan.
Great.
Because it's such a good, the soundtrack is phenomenal.
This is good. This is a good direction for you, I feel like. The Charlie XCX direction. Okay. I mean, I will see this. I don't know if I'm going to see it in the theater, but I would definitely see it.
And it's also the first movie that I've seen in so long that when it ended, I was like, oh no, it's already over. Instead of like 30 minutes left and being like, all right, we got to wrap up all these storylines. It was like, nah. And then it's done. And we pull the plug and it's done. And it's great. And something that I also find annoying about the discourse with Wuthering Heights is also it's like so many people being like, well, I wanted it to be this way. And it's like, yeah, but that's not what she wanted. And she's the one with the budget and you're not. So make your own version of it if you want.
Well, artists lead.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. So not everyone's going to be happy.
No. And but I loved it. And I'm a Fennell fan.
Yeah. I mean, I liked, well, I'll say Saltburn I didn't love because I do think that it was sort of, for me, it felt like a scuzzy movie. Well, I guess it's like Scuzz 101 to me. It felt like I'd seen other things more than this before and people were freaking out about the movie. And I was like, this is sort of, Scuzz 101.
Yeah.
And I'm a professor of Scuzz.
Yeah, you're Scuzz 500.
Yeah. So, but again, 14-year-olds are seeing these movies. So it's like they need that step in the right direction. More movies should be horny.
Yeah, bring back horny.
Yeah.
Bring back horny. And
It's
I
not
feel
going to
like,
hurt anybody.
no, that was also our entire, the last iteration of this podcast. But it is true. Make movies for adults. I know I said that it was made for a 14-year-old version of herself. But like, make movies for adults. Make them horny. Make them weird.
Yeah.
It's great. I feel like we're moving in such a puritanical direction as a society. And we need to pull Bang a Yui and get back.
I think we are. I do think we are.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that this even exists and it was released by a major company and Warner Brothers released this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a step in the right direction.
And then not to invoke your other podcast, but it did well, right? Like financially?
Yeah, it did well. I mean,
Yeah.
it did better than a lot of those adaptations do.
Yeah. And I contributed. I saw it twice. I'd see it a third time. If you want to go see it after this, I'll go.
There we go. I mean, but I got to do the other podcast. That's the thing.
Sorry. No.
I saw a movie called Pilion, which is a very small independent film. And it's about a biker that has a
Like bicycle or motorcycle?
motorcyclist
Oh, cool.
that starts a sadomasochistic relationship with a shy young man.
Is the shy young man the guy who looks like Edgar Allan Poe?
Well, I think he played. Did he play Edgar Allan Poe in a movie? I was informed by the person I went to see this movie with that the young man in this movie, who's in his like 20s, early 30s, was in Harry Potter.
I wouldn't know.
And I think he played Harry's shitty adopted brother, like Harry. Let me explain Harry Potter to people.
I've never read or seen it, so this would be helpful.
So
I don't
apparently,
know.
this Harry Potter guy, his parents are dead.
Okay, sad.
And they send him to live with a relative, and he has to live under the stairs. Can you believe this? Under the stairs.
So rude.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
And then they have a son that they like better because it's their biological son, which I don't agree with. I think, listen, families, is who you choose.
Right.
And they could have chose Harry,
Yeah.
and they should have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if maybe they do at some point. There's 7 books.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's that kid.
Okay.
And he's had a glow up. But he also, I thought, was really, really like a sweet, awkward innocence about him in this film. And the thing about this film is that it is funny and tragic and explicit and super touching in a way I did not expect. I didn't really know what I was getting into when I saw this movie, and I was blown away by it.
Yeah.
I think it's a gorgeous movie, and you go through all the emotions, and it's under 2 hours.
Oh, what a dream.
I had the same thing. I was like, oh, this movie's over? Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. Thrilled.
Yeah.
Oh, under 2 hours. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And horny, sounds like.
Yeah, very horny. And
Phenomenal.
it's one of those movies that, they don't hold your hand about the subculture.
Okay. Yeah.
They don't have a character explain like, well, this is what happens when somebody chooses you. It's like you see he has a lock around his neck and you're like, oh, I guess that means something.
Yeah.
And so I recommend it highly. I think
Okay.
it's a really great movie, super heartbreaking, but also like really funny and heartwarming. So it's like all the emotions.
And now you're going to read the book.
Yeah, so I purchased the book. It's a thin book, and the adaptation takes place in modern times, but this is a book about a similar relationship in the 70s. And it's a thin novella. So I should be able to get through it at a point. I just purchased it, and I'm excited to delve into it. But it's one of those things where I read the book that was adapted into All of Us Strangers, which was one of my favorite movies of a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that book was terrible.
Oh.
I don't think this book is going to be that bad, but it might not be the same level as the movie, which is usually rare. Like usually a book I find is better than a movie just because of the limits of a motion picture.
Yeah.
But who knows? I don't want to have it in my head that this is going to be worse than a movie, but I have a feeling it's going to be just different.
No, it has to be different. I mean,
Yes.
that's the point. Like adaptation, like that's the thing.
There we go. So if I'm mad,
yeah.
if I throw Box Hill across the thing and I'm like, where's the Harry Potter kid? That's on me.
Right.
And
He isn't
it's
described the way that I thought.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah. He doesn't mention this Harry Potter kid at all. He doesn't mention the stairs. And so if somebody, walks out of the theater and is like, this isn't my Wuthering Heights, well, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be a movie.
Right. It's an interpretation of
You
it.
already have the book. The book's the book.
Yeah. Read the book.
I was hoping that this was going to be it, but
Wouldn't
it's
have
not.
that been a me? Like we should have maybe thought of that. That would have been really cool. But
But I also could have done that, and then that would have messed it up.
is it down there?
No, it's
oh,
not.
all right then. Nothing's helping us. But I
actually think it was sold out.
Oh, fantastic. As we were leaving, some other women were in the theater with us, and they were like, oh, well, you need to read the book now. And we were like, it's shot for shot, baby. I think you're going to love it. No, it's not. It's very different.
Yeah.
And it's also only the first half of the book. So
there's a part 2 coming.
no, I think this is it. This is all wherever. But it's like whenever they adapt East of Eden, it's only the second half of the East of Eden. They don't adapt the first half.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll have to see it at some point.
It's so fun. Who cares that Kathy's 35 and Heathcliff is white? It's all fine. It's great.
Wait, how old is she? I'm kidding. That's a joke.
It's also Margot Robbie. You're also just looking at incredibly attractive people the whole time, too.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So, loved it. So that's what we've been seeing. I'm trying to think if I've seen it. Oh, and I've started watching the adaptation of Lonesome Dove.
Oh, you did? Okay. Are you watching it on Tubi? Why are you
Amazon.
finding it? Amazon.
Yeah,
Okay.
Amazon has it, and it's 4 parts, and I've watched the first 2.
Yeah.
Because I need to pace myself, and I watched the first one, and that was the day Robert Duvall died. Rest in peace.
Ooh.
It was a big day for me, tough,
Yeah.
but it's phenomenal. Everybody said it was really good, and I was like, I'll be the fucking judge of that. And then it was really good.
See, I started watching it on the day that the Gimp from Pulp Fiction died. I had a similar reaction. It's hard not to get sad when like icons of your childhood pass on.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So in addition to watching, you've been reading.
Reading, yes.
So it's been a month since we spoke last.
Yeah.
And we canonically do not speak in between if we're not being recorded.
No.
As a rule. No.
It's a lawyer thing.
Yeah.
It happened with this when
The
we
courts.
stopped the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
There was this whole thing we had to sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you came to my house for a dinner party, but we just stayed.
Opposite sides.
Yep, that's why I had a seating chart. Had to keep you away.
Mm-hmm.
But have you read anything good since we saw each other, or anything you want to chat about?
Yeah, it's funny because you have a great Substack. Do you want to plug your Substack?
Oh, I have a Substack. It's called Lonesome Animals.
Mm-hmm.
It's every month, and all it is just a review of every book I read the month before.
And then you also do a thing where it's like, these are what I bought. Or,
things that I bought, yeah.
And if I did that, they would come take me away.
It's embarrassing, actually. Sometimes I don't want to do that because I'm like, it's quite a stack this week.
Yeah.
Month.
Yeah. So for me, it would be, okay, this is worrisome. It'd be like I'd be on A&E's My Strange Addiction.
Wait, I do have to say, you didn't speak to me at my dinner party, but you did come with the best host gift ever, which was a mass market paperback version of Comanche Moon.
Yeah. I silently gave it to you. You knew what to do. You knew what to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept it in my apron for like half the party.
Yeah.
Which bring back mass market paperbacks as hostess gifts. Be like, after all this party, after all this talking, you're going to want to sit quietly and read. I'm obsessed with it. It was great. It was the best gift I got.
You can keep it in your apron. That's why I brought the small one, because that way you can just like, if you get a little bored with some of the guests, you know, or you're like, I'm going to go check on the potatoes, and then you're like,
yeah, just
you do that. So anyway, I won't have a Substack where it's how many books I bought. Yeah. Because I was out in the park today, so I work near Central Park, and they've got the Strand kiosk. Oh. And this is the first time I've been there since like it was nice before, like since fall or whatever. And I bought 2 books, which is nice for me. I usually would buy more. They're just half price paperbacks. It's like, how do you say no? For it. And so anyway, I read a lot of good books this month, but the one that I'm almost done with, and the one that I want to talk about, is one that I actually bought when I went to Copenhagen.
Ooh, look at you dropping the travel.
Yeah. So I bought this just on a whim. Mm-hmm. I did not know about the author. I did not know about what this book was about other than what's on the back of it. And I've been really into sort of Scandinavian fiction for a while, and got really into it because Copenhagen. And so I read the Copenhagen trilogy, which is a book, I
want to read that.
It's very good. Mm-hmm. I read that and I like ripped through that. And so I had this sitting on my stack, and I'd forgotten I'd bought this. And so I'm like, oh, well, this sounds, sort of similar, where it's 2 children, and it's them dealing with the World War II. They live on the German-Hungarian border. And it's 3 books, and they all sort of switch perspective. So there's the first one is both of these twin boys who go to live with their grandmother. I'm sorry. These 2 twin boys who both go live with their grandmother, and it's them sort of just saying what happened to them. At the end of the first book, they get split up, and then the last 2 books are them sort of split up. And I don't want to give too much away. That sounds like I'm giving things away, but this book is so much more than that. It is, I mean, we're going to get into a very, very dark and sad and maybe nihilistic book a little bit, possibly. I don't think it's written nihilistically, but it has a viewpoint. That is this book too. This book is devastating. These books are devastating. And I think they're amazing. I mean, I always have to. I've recommended this to a few people, and I have to say, like, there's despicable things that happen in these books.
Oh.
So if that's not your thing, don't read them. But if you can handle those sort of things, I think it's like a must read.
Oh, what is it called and who's the author?
It's called Trilogy by Agato Christoph. I'm saying it wrong. But, and I'll put it up to the camera so people see it. Female writer who wrote these books in the 80s and early 90s. And yeah, I like can't stop thinking about it. And it's one of those books that like I'm almost done and I really sort of don't want to finish it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Because I don't want these characters to cease.
You want to live in the world.
I don't want to live in this world.
Oh.
But I don't want them
to go away.
Yeah, I don't want to know their fate because I worry about their fate. But highest recommendation for me. Trilogy.
See, and that's why you also need to buy the books. Because I'm a firm believer in the alchemy of books and that we read the story we need to read when we need to read it.
Exactly.
And I think there's a higher probability of that happening the more books that you have around. Make sure everybody to tell my husband this whenever he says too many books, we need to get rid of books. Because I feel like there's been so many times where I've had a book, I bought it, and then I don't read it for like a year or two. But then when I read it, I'm like, oh my God, this was exactly what I needed to read right now.
I mean, The Wall is a perfect example of that. I owned that book for years. And Copenhagen Trilogy.
Yeah.
Was sitting on my shelf for years. And then it called to me at the right time.
Yeah. I believe in that.
What book called to you this month that you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I read a ton of great books. I read American Fantasy by Emma Straub, which was my first time reading her. Obviously, she runs one of the best bookstores.
Oh, books are magic.
Period. Books are magic. 2 locations in Brooklyn. And I thought of her as being like quite a serious, like, and just because I'm going to say she's not this way, I thought she was like real up her own ass. But no, it's so accessible. It's so fun. That was a great book, American Fantasy. It's out now or should be out soon because I got it on NetGalley. And then, but the book that I want to talk about is called, it's a first-time author, which is like always so exciting. And whenever a first-time author hits it out of the park on their first book, I'm always like proud of them as though I know them. And I don't know this woman. But the book is called Westward Women, and the author is Alice Martin.
Okay.
And so I got it on NetGalley as well. I got it for a while ago and then hadn't read it and I hadn't read it. And then for some reason I was like, no, you should read this one now. And it is out April 7th, I believe. So soon.
Okay.
But everybody should pre-order it. And it's basically just, it takes place in the 70s, like during the Vietnam War. Everything else is the same except for a lot of women between the ages, they say like 15 and like 45, all of a sudden start developing this disease, this like itch. And the only way that they can feel okay is if they start moving west. And nobody knows what happens once they like hit the Pacific. Basically, it's all just American. So I guess I don't know if this is happening in other countries. But it's about this desire. And so you end up following 3 groups of women sort of as they, for various reasons, start making the trip west. Everybody starts on the East Coast. And it's one of those books that I think is going to stay with me for a really long time because it's not about – it's about such a bigger thing than it is about, and it's about sort of like what was happening to women in the 70s. This was the first generation after women had come home. The men had come home from the war and the women had to come home from the factories. And sort of those were the women that were raising them. And the feminist movement, obviously so much happened in the 70s. And, women had credit cards and could, do all kinds of rent a house without their father's permission. And I think that a lot of it is about that, is about sort of like the discontent, how some women are just not comfortable in the way that they are, the roles that have been assigned to them. And it's about women in friendship and in community and the importance of that and what happens when women disappear from a space. So it's a gorgeous book and a phenomenal first-time novel. And the cover looks really cool, which we're not supposed to judge things by the cover, but
You gotta.
it's really cool. Like,
Yeah.
they did a great job with it. So, so Westward Women by Alice Martin is going to be my big recommendation.
Great. Awesome.
Yeah. All right.
You're so mad at me.
I'm not mad at you because I loved obviously.
Yes.
It's a phenomenal book.
Yeah.
So this month we've read The Wall by Marlen Haushofer. And there's a movie of this, speaking of adaptations.
Yeah. And I have not watched it because I don't think I can or want to.
Yeah.
I don't, and we just talked about how it's a different thing, blah, blah, blah. This book is so close to my heart that I don't think I would want to watch anything that tried to do it.
So I'm interested in what about this book spoke to you so deeply, and what made you, like, you gave this to me for Christmas. You wanted me to read it. Sort of like I
wanted to bum you out because you're doing really well right now.
Mm-hmm.
Things are going really well, and I really didn't like that.
You wanted to really get me off my track.
Yeah. I was like, I don't like this, Erin. No, but that book called to me right after a breakup.
Okay.
And pulled it off the shelf, started reading it, and it's, about somebody who is alone and has to make do with what they have and survive. And there's a lot more to it than that, obviously. But it just really, the day-to-day survival in the book and how you just have to do it. Mm-hmm. And now, extreme conditions, also a woman in a precarious situation being by themselves, different than a guy who got dumped, obviously. But there was a level of the emotional experience I was having was you just have to do what you do every day to survive, no matter what the circumstances. And if you feel like you're alone, you have to just go with that feeling. You just have to figure out, like, why did this make you feel as alone as you feel right now, right? So I was working through a lot of feelings. Obviously, I have great friends, family, stuff like that, so I'm not alone. But sometimes you feel alone in those feelings because, a lot of my friends are married, have long-term partners, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I had a feeling of isolation that this book mirrored in a way. And I think it helped me get through those feelings through fiction. So I could be in the mind of this woman who's trying to survive in this, like, scary, unknowable environment. And it just was the perfect book at the perfect time. It helped me work through my feelings, I think.
And just to do a quick synopsis, I guess, like everybody...
Of my relationship? Okay.
Yeah. So when
we met on Hinge. About the book. I'm sorry.
No, so the book, it takes place in Austria, which I did think was Australia for a good amount of the book. And then I was like, this is not like the Australia I think. And then I saw Austria, and that makes more sense. So she is a German woman who goes to Austria kind of like as a third wheel on this vacation with this couple, her cousin or something, that she doesn't seem to like very much. And they go into the village and they just don't return one morning. And then she goes out and there's an invisible wall that has been put up. And it appears everything beyond the wall is dead. And so she has to live within the wall. And all she has is a dog and a cat and a cow.
And she's living in their cabin. That's where
she's living in a hunting cabin. Yeah, because they had left for the evening and she had stayed behind. And then it's about her just the book is in first person. So basically 2 years into this of her living in this space behind the wall, within the wall, she decides to write down the past 2 years for whomever might appear, but she sort of says, I think I'm writing this down for the mice to eat eventually. Mm-hmm. Like this is
it's that kind of book, everybody. I'm writing this for the mice to eat.
because
It's pretty bleak.
Yeah, because she basically says, I think I'm going to stop being human soon. Not like in a science fiction sort of way, but she's like, I just have been living with animals without speaking to somebody. She never tells us what her name is because she's like, there's nobody to call me my name, so my name no longer matters. And she can see herself becoming like an animal, like no longer human. And therefore, she's like, this is my last. As I'm in my last days of being a human, I'm just going to write everything down.
Yeah.
which is beautiful in a way, but it's also like, God. And the other thing that, I mean, there's so much. There's so, like, it's written so beautifully. And it's written. You read it so compulsively. You read it so quickly, even though it is like pretty mundane.
Yes.
Like, it's a lot of like, and then I took the potatoes, and then the potatoes looked okay,
Oh,
but
the
I
whole
had to wait a
potato
little bit. There's so much about the potatoes.
Yeah.
But you're so enthralled in it. And then the most devastating thing you can imagine happens. And then it's just the next morning, she's milking that cow again.
I know, yeah.
And it's also so interesting because you can't help but place yourself there where I'm like, could I survive? Like, she knew so much more about so much more farming techniques that I'm like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't know to plant the potatoes with the eyes.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, those are the sort of things that, we're losing in this digital society is just those basic things. Because, I mean, yeah, of course you could Google that or watch a YouTube video, but if you're in the situation that she's in, you're not going to have any of that stuff.
Right.
So, yeah, you wouldn't know that. So, I mean, it's been called like a Robinson Crusoe type novel, but it's so much more than that. Like, that book more just focuses on like, the adventure aspect, I guess, of that sort. This like really shows just how terrible that all would be, of also pretty much knowing at a point that everybody outside of this wall or this like dome probably is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you even fathom that? And how do you continue?
Right. And she never knows what happened.
And that's great. I love that you just don't know.
Right.
It just, something happened and you just don't know.
Somehow there's a wall here.
You just don't need to know.
Right. And then she makes a brilliant observation where she's like, I haven't seen any planes, so I think there's nobody left in the whole world.
Exactly, yeah.
And I'm like, damn, yeah, that would be how you would know.
Yeah.
The other thing that is so the sense of foreboding that you have is she creates a very deep and meaningful relationship with the hunting dog Lynx, who is basically a person.
Yes.
And from the beginning, from maybe the first time that Lynx is mentioned, she's like, and then Lynx is going to die. And then after Lynx dies. So the entire time you also have this impending sense of doom of like, Lynx is going to die. We're going to watch him die. You never are settled then for the rest of the book because you're like, this dog who is her sanity, basically. The dog, they create such an intense bond that anytime that she starts wandering off or she starts thinking about ending her life or just sitting down and never getting back up, like Lynx doesn't allow it to happen because he pushes her forward. And yeah.
I mean, I think that's a strong thing in this book too, is that the bond between humans and animals and how it's real, and they serve. There's so many people who look at the world through only the people lens, right? Like, where can I go? What can I do? They don't think of like other creatures in an environment and how we're all living together in this place. And that's all she has. She has cows. She has the cats that come and go. There's also some devastation when it comes to those. Yeah. And then Lynx. And Lynx is and see, I'm even doing it myself, saying he's humanized. Like, he's not humanized. You look at him as a peer in this book, but he's still a dog, because a dog is different than a human, but we're peers. And that is what's shown through in that book so much, is that they are partners. There's trust, there's understanding, there's emotional connection that is equal to an emotional connection you would have with another human. And that's so lost in this society, our society right now. And of course, it's under like terrible, terrible distress that this is happening. But that was the thing that kept me going. And like you said, the news that drops that he is dead, that he ends up dying, was like that. I was devastated the whole rest of the time because
Right.
every time he did something, every time he showed care, every time they showed care for each other, I was like, this is going to end. This beautiful creature's life is going to end. And it was like, yeah, it was devastating. And that's another book. I was like 10, 15 pages left. And I don't want to finish this book because I don't want whatever's going to happen.
Right. And yeah. I mean, we'll talk about what happens. Obviously, we're going to spoil the book. And I think if you haven't read the book, maybe we'll talk about it a little bit later so that if people want to just sort of like fast forward through it. Because
Sure.
I think not knowing about it is like makes it like such a big moment. But
Yeah.
But something else that I found really interesting because after I'd read I Who Have Never Known Men,
Yeah.
you were like, oh, The Wall is similar. And for anyone who hasn't read I Who Have Never Known Men, which is another phenomenal book, but it's more like sci-fi-y.
Yeah.
In that it's basically about this girl who was born in an underground prison that she doesn't know why she's there. And one day all the guards leave and she and a group of women have to just like wander around a wasteland until she's the last person alive. So another
Uplifting
gas of a book. But I thought that the interesting thing about The Wall is that she is a woman in her 40s, which obviously is the youngest age a woman can be. So young. But
so young.
She's already raised 2 children. She's buried a husband. And it's a lot about sort of her reclaiming like who she wants to be and how she wants to look and how she wants to move through the world with, whenever she does catch a glimpse of herself, which she doesn't that often because I think there's like one of the cabins she goes to has a mirror. She is always just kind of startled by her appearance, but then she's like, but the animals love me and they don't love me for the way that I look. They love me for like who I am or what I smell like is what she said, which maybe was true. And what I thought was really interesting and kind of revolutionary for a book that was written in 1963 is how she's kind of like, oh yeah, my 2 daughters are dead. If everybody's dead, then they're dead. And I loved them when they were little and they were kind of turned up to be kind of shitty adults and I'm not really that sad about it.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just very, it was very interesting to see her views or non-views about gender, about that once she was in this place where she was like, yeah, I just have to do all of the work and keep everything alive.
And yeah, and it's not a book about my daughters are dead at all. I mean, of course, like you said, but also that feels like the relationship they had died a long time ago.
Right.
So it's not, I got to get out of here and figure this out because my daughters are out there. It's not. It's that. It's like this is an individual dealing with individual issues, trying to survive. And that's so interesting.
And she doesn't spend a lot of time also thinking about what happened. Like she does accept it sort of. And I think there's a part of her, it seems like, who likes living within the wall and likes the way that the animals are depending on her, the relationship that she has with the animals. And something that I found really interesting as well is she thinks a lot about her place within nature, and it's always her as an outsider to nature and not a part of it as well, where she's sort of like the deer will overtake everything because deers like multiply so fast, or it would be better if man wasn't here at all.
Yeah.
The way that nature would be able to be. But she doesn't see herself as like the person like Bella, the cow, was in excruciating pain before she came across her and was able to milk her, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not basically, literally. And how she doesn't see herself as a part of nature. And the only real ritual that she maintains is like she buries all of her animals when they die.
Yeah.
And brings them back to the earth. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's it is funny because I was just at the Natural History Museum and I went to the butterfly enclosure thing that they fly around and all that stuff. It's sad to see them stuck inside like that. But there's all this signage and it's like, what do they eat? And, do they sleep and all these things? And then there was, what is the butterfly's biggest enemy? And it's people.
Oh, God.
Was the answer. And it's like, not to be this person, but you could almost say that for anything on this planet, right? Because we've just taken dominion over it, for better or for worse, right? And so, I mean, I think that's the thing about this book too, is like, when you have to work with other creatures, like, it's possible, but does it have to be under the harshest conditions possible?
Or to excess. Because, like, she kills the deer because you need to control the population so that the deer can continue to live. She also feeds the deer in the winter.
Yes.
And because Lynx needs meat and she needs meat.
Yeah.
And she only kills what she needs when she needs it.
It's not for sport. It's not because it's annoying. It's not because, they run in front of cars or they have ticks or whatever, Yeah, it's pure, like, circle.
Right. I mean, I think this naturally brings us to sort of like the most devastating part of the book, that when it happened, I wanted to just text you, fuck you in all capitals, but then I was like, that'll be a harsh text message to get, but I don't think I can say more than that.
I would have gotten it.
You would have been like, she got to that part.
Or it could have been about many other things also.
I have a lot of opinions.
I would have taken it. I would have been like, I probably deserve that.
You would have been like, I agree, but why?
But why exactly? Yeah. Only I can speak to myself that way.
So the entire book, she does do things for her own safety. Like, she locks doors. She keeps a rifle next to her bed. And I was like, this is kind of silly. There are no humans left. Like, who are you? And also, it doesn't seem like there's any predators in the wall. Like, she never comes across and I don't know that much about Austria to know, like, what if they have something that would be like bears or something. But randomly at the end of the book, all of a sudden, she is coming home from something, or she sees that there's a man with an axe, and her bull, who she has raised since he was born, he has killed the bull for seemingly no reason, because the bull seemed really chill. And this is how Lynx dies. Lynx runs up to the man, barking at him, and in the time it takes her to go get her rifle and come back, he has killed Lynx for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she shoots him.
And then she shoots the man.
Yeah.
And she buries all of her animals, but she fucks that guy off a cliff, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Because for what possible reason could you have? And I like that she talks about how he had expensive... She could tell he had, like, expensive clothes on that had been, like, darned. Like, he clearly had also been living in the wall without her knowing. Because there's a time where she thinks she sees smoke, and then she never sees it again. There's a few things where she's like, oh, could that be something, or am I going crazy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now, I think that might be the most controversial or divisive thing about this book, is that she existed this long in this same area and never ran across this person, or this person didn't make themselves known or whatever, right? I understand why the ending was what the ending was, because I do think it was, like, so visceral that you don't have time to think about how ludicrous it is that this person was able to hide themselves this whole time.
Or was it? We don't know how big the space is behind the wall. Like, she gets to a certain point. Like, she walks for days at one period, and she's like, I just don't want to walk anymore. Like, it is what it is. She accepts what's happening to her. She's like, I can't leave Bella for that long. I have to milk her every day. So, like, theoretically, it could be massive.
That's very true. And then the other thing with this is that, like you're saying, how big the area is. Like, he could have been a guy who worked his way from the other end. He touched the edge of the wall and just came through and was doing his thing of just killing animals and taking expensive clothes or whatever he's doing, and just like not living in harmony with it, but like damaging it, which he obviously does. He kills the bull and then he kills lynx. And she doesn't, she kills for population control and stuff like that. But like, it's not just, I'm going to slaughter to slaughter.
She would have never slaughtered the bull.
Yeah. And so it's just a very strong statement about like men.
Yeah.
Like, of course, this guy's going to come and screw this up and kill lynx. It just makes you so angry. And this is the 60s, and this is like the time, like, obviously, like, the women's rights and, just like the movement towards that sort of stuff.
Or was it women's rights? Or like, I think of this, like, she was in Austria. She was in her early 20s during the war. You know what I mean? Like, I think that you couldn't have lived through that time and not have been profoundly affected by it, even though they never mention it in the book. They don't talk about the war or anything specifically. But the idea that this isn't in some way in response to that and in response to like the Holocaust and all of the mass death and tragedy and cruelty that happened during that time, it's impossible. You can't untangle the two. This is an answer to that. This is, in a way.
Yeah. So I actually, and we won't get into this because it's sort of a little off topic, but I did read another of her works that was translated that hasn't been published in America yet. So I had to order it from Blackwell's, which is Blackwell's UK. You're very familiar with it. But you go over there enough that you don't have to use Blackwell's. You just come bring a suitcase.
I just use
home.
Delta.
Yes, use Delta. Yeah, Delta is your Blackwell's. So it was a book called The Loft, and it's similar in the way that it is from the point of view of a woman in her 40s, and it's alluded to that her husband was in the war. So it seems like as an author, and I don't know how you wouldn't be affected by it, like her fiction is very much living with those ghosts.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And so, you can see it that way as well.
Of just he shows up to destroy.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no other purpose. And then she destroys him because I don't know.
Yeah. What else are you going to do?
Well, at that stage, you don't know. This man has just murdered two beings.
Yeah.
For no reason.
And then she treats him like not the same. Like you said, throw him off the cliff instead of, obviously, because he just came in and brutalized. Mm-hmm. He's not part of that harmonious cycle. Mm-hmm. He's an outside force that's destroying. Mm-hmm. And so that's what you do to that. You don't give it the respect of burying it because it doesn't respect you. No.
And have you heard of this thing? I know you're not on social media where it's like the man or the bear.
Mm-hmm.
No?
No.
Okay. So it's this question that a lot of people are asking, specifically women, where it's like, if you were to be walking through the woods by yourself and you came upon something, would you rather just come upon a random man or come upon a bear?
Oh, it's got to be like 98% a bear, right?
Everybody says the bear.
Yeah.
Everybody picks the bear because, I mean, what women have been saying, it's like with the bear, it's going to kill you if it needs to eat or if it's scared. But that's the worst it's going to do is kill you.
Yeah.
And with man, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be so much worse.
Yeah.
And so obviously this is 80 years before the man in the or 60 years before the man in the bear was started to be a question, but it is that where it's like, I was never really terrified for her until that moment.
With the animals, yeah, absolutely, yeah. You thought, okay, she'll find a way to handle this and, yeah.
Even with the bull, like I grew up around cows and bulls and stuff, and like bulls are pretty scary when they get real horned up, literally. And but that the bull was always, even when he was like an adolescent and they have all that energy, like it was still, she felt safe with him. Like she understood him. And she also understood like this is his nature. Like I have to separate the two of them.
Yeah.
He's like Randy, so we need to keep him in the thing. But that's it.
Yeah.
And when I saw, when the man is revealed, it's because it's like, is he going to kill her? Is he going to rape her?
Yeah.
Is he what is he going to do? So that she kills him immediately, I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
Because I read some things too where people were like, and then she'll never get to speak to another human. And it's like, well, what does she want to know from that guy?
Yeah, what's he got to say?
I can't imagine anything you would say would not be like cruel and disturbing.
Yeah.
So dispatch him.
It's so fun. Like I don't think The Loft is as good. There's I read another one of her novellas that I thought was okay. And then there's another book that is being translated and is going to come out in the next couple of months that I'm also going to get. But there is a similar situation with a male figure in The Loft that just sort of shows that sort of relationship. Where, so in The Loft, the narrator loses their hearing and is sent to this place where they're trying to figure out what's wrong with her, and she's away from her kids and her husband. And there's a guy that just starts to befriend her, and she can't hear anything, and he decides, well, now I can just say whatever I want. Like, this will be somebody who I can just tell my deepest, grossest secrets to. We don't know what they are,
but they're not.
But he ends up scream like they're like back and forth, which is her just sitting there and him like twisting his hands and screaming, and it's so you're in fear the whole time.
Yeah. God.
So this is like a theme of her writing.
Yeah. She also died when she was 49, which is so incredibly sad. The other thing that was so gorgeous about it was, every time the cat comes home, the old cat, she never gives the old cat a name, which I think is rude.
Yeah.
But every time the old cat comes home pregnant and she's like, but these kittens I'm not going to fall in love with.
Every time. Yeah, the cat stuff is, talk about links, but then the cat stuff is also devastating.
Right. Because she falls in love with these cats. One is Pearl, who's like a beautiful long-haired cat, and she's like, I know she's not long for this world. And she gets attacked by maybe that fox or something, and she comes home and she dies. And then Tiger just leaves and never comes home one day, which I had cats. I grew up with a ton of cats, and that happened to my cats. They kind of left and they didn't come home one day, some of them. And others drank antifreeze that my father accidentally left out.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, it was a real accident, but it was devastating.
You just can't pour it into a cat dish.
No, it was under a car.
Okay.
Now I'm thinking about how all my cats died. It's very sad.
Well, we're trying to get you to cry. You haven't cried, so.
I could have cried when I first was talking about it, but then, but how impossible it is to live with things like how fundamental humans' desire and ability to love is, because she doesn't want to. And she is constantly reminding herself of they're just animals and I won't fall in love with them. And these cats are actually kind of useless and they actually don't care about me. But she falls in love with all of them.
Yeah.
And she falls in love with Bull and she falls in love with Bella and all of these animals and how fundamental that is to being a human being.
Yeah, love is never useless.
Right.
As much as it can feel like it is, a weakness, or it can feel like, you're pushing a rock up a hill. So why? But it's like, it's just the fundamental, it's the fundamental thing that brings us together. And I'm not saying romantic, like love is not romantic love necessarily what I'm talking about. It's like,
no,
care.
She's not romantically involved with any of these animals.
But when people say love, and we're a romance, we were a romance podcast and still romance-ish podcast. But when I say love, I mean care. I mean respect, understanding.
No, love.
The need, the need to be connected. And it's never useless.
Well, and it's also never useless, but it's not something that you can control.
Yeah.
She couldn't live with these beings and not fall in love with them. Which I think, the stripped down nature of her life. Because she doesn't talk a lot about her life pre-Wall, but she kind of alludes to that she felt kind of alone and ornamental and useless and and I think the way that the animals were able to really ground her and the way that she was able to feel so vital to them in a way that it seems like in her previous life she felt not seen, because there are times where she talks about wanting to commit suicide, like what's the point? And she's like, but then the animals would be hurt. And she's thinking like, if I get too sick, I need to leave the byre open so that the animals can at least have a chance.
Yeah.
Because I can't not let them have a chance or not take care of them.
Yeah.
Into the end. And so, so it's like a beautiful, stunning book. And I think it's a book that gets woven into the fabric of you after you read it.
I agree. It's still with, obviously this is bringing it back to me more and more, but it won't ever go away.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's just vivid passages from this and just like imagery. I feel like I can still conjure up that feeling of how it was to experience this book and live in this world and be devastated by the ending all over again with you having that reaction. So with that, I mean, it seems like you are, but are you glad that you read this book? Is this something that you're happy that it came into your life?
Yes.
Okay.
No, you gave it to me. I was always going to read it. I don't know if I would have read it right now, but I think
in February or well, now it's March, but you read this during the darkest, shortest month of the year when we had like 2 blizzards.
No, I read it in the past 5 days.
Okay.
It doesn't take me that long to read a book.
Okay.
But
I was trying to set it up as if this was like a harrowing journey, but okay.
No, it was quite beautiful out.
You were at
actually.
the beach.
I was,
You
I
were
was
at the
sitting in
beach
a
in Mexico.
park. Yeah, it was beautiful. But it was no. I'm so happy that I read it, and I thank you so much for giving it to me. And it's so special that you gave it to me as a present, and thank you for that. And it's a phenomenal book that everyone should read, and it doesn't seem like it has the kind of popularity that I think it should. Like, I think it should be a kind of a required reading.
Mm-hmm. It feels like there's a low key buzz about it.
Okay,
like
let's get that high key buzz.
Yeah, I will find it. I will find sometimes like it being mentioned in various places, and I know there's a few like booktubers or whatever who are like have it on their read list or whatever.
Yeah.
And the more people who read this, the better. Now, I gave you this book. Who would you give this to? Is there someone in mind that you would give this book to next?
She wouldn't read it because she doesn't read, but I think my mother would really connect with it.
I will say, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I think your mother would really connect with this book.
Yeah. Like, I think she really should read it.
Yes.
And she follows the
Barbara
podcast now. Get in on it.
Yeah.
She'll say, I do read, but
I do read, yeah. And that's fine. You do read.
Yeah. No, she's literate.
But
she has a very fancy job. But I think that this would be a book that she would really connect with. And I think, yeah, I would say I would give it to my mom.
Do you think she would read it if I gave it to her?
Yes. I think if you give it to her.
So you give it to me to give to your mom.
Yes.
That's how the chain would work.
Perfect.
Because I agree with that. When you said that, I was like, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because my mom also grew up on a farm. So I feel like this would be a connection for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved her Jersey cows, which this is a Holstein, but in my mind, she was a Jersey.
It's a Jersey. Nice.
What about you? Is there anybody? I mean, you gave it to me.
Yeah. So I think with this, because we're still trying to figure out the format,
Mm-hmm.
I think also if there's like somebody someone else I would want to pass it along to, which I sort of agree with you with. I can't think of a better person actually.
Yeah, so Barbara Leaf.
But I think it'd be fun because you're going to pick the next book
Mm-hmm.
for us to read,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would then be up to me to say who I would then give the book to.
I love
So I
this.
feel like
Okay.
that is the way we should do this, where it becomes a chain. So
Yeah.
we're giving these books to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And again, you don't have to give me the book. I can buy the book independently. It's giving it's giving me the impetus to read whatever's next.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be really fun. So we can just keep these chains going.
Oh, I love. Okay, yes, that's what we'll do. And I had an idea for what I wanted us to read next, but now I have to come up with something else because we need something uplifting.
Okay, it was going to be too devastating.
Yeah, it was going to be
Okay.
pretty devastating. We'll get there. Listen, but I think maybe we need a bit of an upper. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board.
I agree. And whatever it is, I'm excited for because it's been 2 bangers so far.
Oh yeah, I mean phenomenal books.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, and Lonesome Dove just ended devastatingly. But if you want to find out what we're reading next, I'll be posting it on Instagram. So follow us on Instagram at Learning the Tropes Podcast. And that's how you'll find out what we're reading next and anything else, any other information we have. We'll put it there, probably.
Yeah.
We're not on Facebook anymore because I forgot my password and I can't get
We
back
don't-
in
we don't
there.
need it.
I don't know.
I know some people liked it, but I'm sorry. It's better off without it.
It's all AI schlop anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody get off Facebook. And then, we're also on TikTok at Learning the Tropes
Good for us.
podcast. So check out some vertical videos there.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're watching us right now on TikTok. Who's to say? Anything can happen.
That's crazy.
And I think those are our only 2 social media things. You can also email us at learningthetropespodcast@gmail.com.
We like those too.
What?
We like those too. We like
we love
emails.
emails are our favorite. If you really want to get our attention, email us.
Email us,
We'll
yes.
both read it. That'll be how you get to us.
Oh, but you like the quill and ink.
The
So,
quill and ink.
You like
Yeah, but
the
I'm not going to
written
give out my
letters.
address.
Well, we could get a PO box.
I don't have one right now.
Okay, but we could.
We could. Maybe one day we'll get a PO box
For written letters.
We'll be more likely to get a PO box than we will another Facebook page.
Wouldn't it be great if our mailbag episode was us taking physical letters out of an actual mailbag?
Yeah. Let's give them your address.
No, and let's not do that because that's in flux.
That is in flux. Everybody manifests a new place for Clayton.
Yeah, manifest a better address for me.
Yeah. And we're not allowed to talk about it, but this month was also huge because we found out Clayton's birth time and now know his big 3.
Yeah, let's dive into that. We have time, right, Pat? Pat's
We
giving
gotta
us
wrap things up.
Pat's
We gotta wrap things up, guys.
yeah. Pat's
We won't
giving us
say
the
what
high
your
sign.
big 3 are. So if anybody also wants to guess, maybe.
Or if someone wants to do my chart for free.
Oh, yeah. If anyone has any good astrology recommendations.
They're gonna kick us out of the studio.
All right. Well, I guess everybody read The Wall.
Yes.
And until next time, happy reading.
Happy reading.